Will there be an abrupt ending to this episode as well? Well, frankly, I have no idea. Maybe. It's possible. I didn't expect the abrupt ending to the last episode. It just kind of happened. But I had somebody show up. Oh, Toogie, who showed up to you? Who showed up to your house on Valentine's Day? It was my dad. Get your mind out of the gutter. Unless, then again, this is the internet, and people are going to say, oh, your dad showed up on Valentine's Day. Okay, there's already probably a fan fiction. Don't be weird. Anyway, we're back again. Middle of February. First place in the division are the Florida Panthers, to the surprise of absolutely nobody, because it's what we do. That said, we picked up Blake Wheeler. We were debating whether or not to keep him in the lineup or not. And, again, 2 goals in 4 games. I think we give him a little bit more time. We see what he can do. We're still debating, making some changes. Of course, we'll figure it out here as we move along. So, obviously, Vinny Trocheck, Blake Wheeler, there are some players that aren't exactly safe at this point in time. But we will sim these next 4 games. We play Buffalo and lose in a shootout, but a pity point is helpful. We beat Pittsburgh. We, drum roll please, we beat the New Jersey Devils and lose to the Lightning in regulation. So 2-1-1, not a bad stretch, 36 wins on the season. How has Blake done? As we are right now 8 points clear, but the Sens have a game at hand. So 1 game left before the deadline. Let's take a look at Mr. Wheeler, who is down an overall point, which is incredibly concerning. Okay, well, that didn't work now, did it? Right, now the risk was, of course, he has an extra year in his contract, so that sucks. Vinny Trocheck has 26 points. Oh, Vinny. Vin. This is not great. Okay. The issue here, of course, is that we look at our top 6, and yeah, right now it's kind of frustrating that Henrik Borgstrom hasn't emerged as the ideal second-line center. We know that Vinny Trocheck has to go anyway. This is his last year here. He'll be traded, at the draft, unless we decide to trade him now. Is it worth trading him now? Potentially? I mean, Sarah Noel's done great on the 4th line. Achari's done really well given the amount of time. I'm happy with the 4th line. I think Wheeler and Trocheck could go. Borgstrom could go. You could talk about bringing in a rental in the top 6, but how much is that going to help if we drop Borgstrom down to that 3rd line, which could be done. That would leave room for Hauerluck or Dryden Hunt to step back in, which might not be completely ideal, but it could be done. All right, so again, Dryden Hunt has another year left, 2 years left on his deal. Hauerluck's on an expiring contract. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Now, I was hesitant to say at the start of this episode that, hey, this could be a playoff episode, because I don't know. That really does depend on what happens here and whether or not there are any logical changes that make sense. Like acquiring Antoine Morand. Probably not. He's doing really well down in the AHL, though, but that doesn't help us out too much. Is there a deal that makes sense for us right now? Or is the logical move to just hold on to who we have and try to make the best of it? Kasperi Kapanen's deal is not up. He signed an extension, so like Josh Ho saying, Jimmy Vesey, Carolina with Philippe and Grabner, nothing too good there. Colorado with nothing, Columbus with nothing. Not a lot of teams still looking to trade. Detroit looking to send some people off. Svechnikov, really it would just be Tyler Bertuzzi. Which, again, we've picked up people at the deadline before, and Bert is not doing well. And he doesn't really fit in on this team, so no Tyler Bertuzzi for us. Edmonton with Anton Lundell. Has he signed his extension? He has not. 3 years at $2 million. That's a pretty good deal for him, but he is not doing well. So that's going to be a no from me. Kempe, Doughty towards the end of his deal. Berechki and Nyquist. Gallagher, Deneau, Drouin. Montreal, Dennis Mulligan. Montreal always seems to be selling. Philip Deneau is actually on a really good contract. Not so much Gallagher. We couldn't have paid him that if we wanted to. Philip Deneau. To have him replace Vinny Trocheck almost outright could be interesting. But then again, they are doing about the same this year. So would that... He doesn't really fit. Damn. I was going to say that would just be like shuffling deck chairs. As Armia is up to an 85. Nobody on an expiring deal. It has to be a rental because of the amount of money that we're going to need to make sure is free and clear. I think our team is our team. That's what it's looking like. If we want to move on from anybody, we can. So, okay, we have a couple of options. Evander Kane's hurt. Haula, Leonard, or Kerfoot. John Leonard having a very good season for the Sharks. Offensively, not so much defensively. Same for Haula. Yeah, I mean, San Jose is probably just a bad team, but I think our team is our team. I know Ryan O'Reilly's there. His deal's probably not up. Not even close. Not even close. Thomas Tatar was there as well. Vancouver not getting rid of anybody. Vegas not getting rid of anybody. Washington and Winnipeg, nothing. Okay. So that question is answered. We're not going out and bringing anybody else in. It's just, are we moving anybody out? And again, now, goalie-wise, Lukas Dostal has been fine. He's been fine. So we don't need to make the change there. Defensively, again, if we look at Morrow, the penalty minutes are a bit much for someone who has 85 discipline especially, but he's been fine. Connolly's been great. Smirnoff and Kessler have been fine. Again, you can talk about, like, oh, go get, like, true top four defensemen. That might not be the worst idea. You know, probably send down Smirnoff and Connolly, but, I mean, Connolly is a plus 24. He's not going anywhere. So, I mean, yeah, get two top four defensemen who are legitimate top four defensemen. Does that help development and help our chances to win? Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. It is tough to say with certainty sometimes. I think for the most part we're fine, though. It's just we have the option to shuffle people around if need be. I don't think I have to worry about getting rid of Blake Wheeler right now. If he doesn't retire, we can trade him at the draft. That'll be fine. Sarah Noel, he's good enough on the fourth line. It's worth keeping him there for now. Dryden Hunt, same thing. I think we give him a chance to turn it around this year. If he can't, we look to get rid of him at the draft, just in case. Commodore is looking okay, and then we know Vinny Trocheck's going to get traded at the draft too. I think we stick with it. We stick with it. It was the strategy heading into this season that we just stick with this team, see what they can do, changed a little bit. Matheson's gone, Bobrovsky's gone, but we stick with the team, see what they can do, and then changes happen naturally. And that's going to continue to be the case, I think. So what it's looking like, at least. So the one thing I want to do first and foremost is we need to go see if Morrow here, I keep on saying Moreau, but if Morrow is set to, like, fight all the time, he might be, but 85 discipline taking that many penalty minutes, or just taking that many penalties in general, that's not cool. That's not ideal. So let's take a look and see what the deal is. Solid beard, though, for Mr. Morrow. Oh, yeah. You know, I think it's not cheating to say, yeah, don't do that anymore. I don't think that's cheating. I don't think it is. You can tell someone to, hey, don't fight. You can tell them that. That's not cheating. Telling someone to play offensively, that's just a coaching adjustment, man. Just a coaching adjustment. He has 85 discipline. I mean, come on, that's ruining him. So we're making that change first and foremost because that's ridiculous. But you watch, it'll somehow make him a worse player. When it comes to the forwards, we are going to be sending Blake Wheeler down. We gave him 8 games. It just isn't happening. Hopefully this can ruin the morale for him and he ends up retiring, because he certainly wasn't going to be claimed. So when it comes to this team, I think it is going to be Howrluck that ends, or probably Dryden Hunt that ends up back in the lineup, because we have a bit more to lose with him if we end up having to get rid of him. So when it comes to this team, I don't hate the idea of just reuniting the lines like this, because ideally this is our team. And again, the fourth line has been okay. They've been pretty good. Hutsko's been great. Trocheck's been okay, but by his standards, he's been disappointing. And Dryden Hunt was pretty disappointing as well. You know, on pace to finish with under 30 points. It's just not good enough for him. The problem is I don't think swapping Borgstrom and Trocheck is really going to help us that much, unfortunately. So I just think with this team, what we see is what we get. Howrluck and Panarin as the scratches, and then down in the AHL, I think we do have to go best lines for the first time in a while. So we'll do that and just double check that everyone's in the lineup that should be. With the exception of Luke Shen, who will take a seat for Terrence Cruz. Always want to call him Ted. And then the rest of the team, Bobby Ryan can take a seat for Mr. Hedin. Actually, we'll put in low for him. And who else can we take out here? Matt Zuccarello, I love you, but you're going to be taking a seat for Sparks. Next to the lowest rated player is Ilya Kovalchuk. And you'll be taking a seat for our boy Hedin. And with that, AHL is good to go. So we're set. I mean, right or wrong, whether or not it's the move to make, I don't believe adding to this team or swapping certain players around, that's really the way that this team is just suddenly going to start winning. We're still in first place, and this does kind of feel like a team that could be built for the playoffs, and maybe that is the best way to kind of view it, is that we know changes are coming in the offseason. I don't really feel like there are any moves that could be viewed as, progressive. Like, they're just lateral moves. Like, Ryan O'Reilly for Trocheck. Like, again, that's just a lateral move that doesn't really make us any better in theory. I think we, again, see what Dryden Hunt does for the rest of the year. We see what Vinny Trocheck can offer. It's his final season here in Florida, as Jake Virtanen's dealt to Tampa Bay. Although, I do wonder, as we beat Calgary, we're going to go through here. We're going to commit to this. We have 19 games left this season. I do wonder, ultimately, as we beat Columbus as well, kind of what the second-line center situation is going to be. There's a pretty good chance, depending on the money situation, as we're on a decent winning streak here, to hit 40 wins on the year. There's a decent chance that Henrik Borgstrom simply isn't the guy to be our second-line center. But he's too good to play third-line minutes without complaining. And, of course, the second I mention a winning streak, we start losing. But I'm doing this mainly to be able to keep an eye on Barkov's point total here, because we're looking okay, up to 41 wins. So what I'm wondering, as Killinen goes down to injury, is that, we have those players that we picked up in the last draft that could be used for their value. This might be Henrik Borgstrom's last year here, too. I mean, there's a very good chance we could have a new second and third line center heading into the next year. It really does depend on how this postseason goes. As Lucas Dostal pulls his groin, he'll be out for a little bit. Let's call up Justus, as Reimer's down to a 65. Poor boy. Poor boy. So, again, we have some things to figure out. There are some spots that are not safe. Again, Trocheck's going to be gone. We know there's going to be a new third-line center, but maybe Henrik Borgstrom isn't safe either, and that's the first real diversion that we have to make from our strategy of how we wanted to build this team, is that we got to get rid of him and look to, try something else. As we did shut out the Rangers. My God, the Sharks absolutely suck. That is brutal. We beat them in overtime. So 7-3 in our last 10. We have 9 games left to go. We are currently in first place in the division by 8 points, but the Flyers well on their way to clinching the conference title and the President's Trophy. So we're going to have home ice from the looks of it. Heponiemi suffers a concussion that may see him miss the beginning of the playoffs, in which we will have home ice, as I was about to say. And maybe that's just, the broken curse that we needed. So let's go Borgstrom, Trocheck, Denisenko. Do we want Howerluck at center? I know he can play center. Just to keep that fourth... Yeah, we need to keep that fourth line together. They're crushing it. So we'll go Hunt, Howerluck, Hutsko. So a great opportunity for Jace Howerluck here to prove that you still deserve to be here. Huge opportunity. Not only that, huge opportunity for Borgstrom as well. Up to 40 points, which is decent. I mean, obviously first line, it's like, okay, as close to a point in game as you can be is phenomenal. Second line, we're looking at like, hey, 50 to 60 would be great. 30 points for the third line, 20 points for the fourth line. I'm not complaining. Like, those are my normal targets. There's a chance that these players still hit the mark here, so we'll see what happens. We destroyed the Rangers 10-0 over the course of 2 games. So that was huge. We play Philly. Of course, the number 1 team in the East. Owen Tippett goes down to a concussion. He'll be back in the beginning of April. But the injuries are adding up right now. And we're going to have to call up a forward unless we go all 2020 Panther style and play Mark Pysyk as forward, which is insane. So we're going to be calling up... It is a skill guy. Cliff Poo. Cliff Poo is going to be given the opportunity. Cliff Poo, I choose you. There is no way he didn't hear that growing up. Cliff, I'm sorry, but we're doing this. You're making this happen, buddy. And you're getting a damn good spot, too. Make no mistake. You are getting a good opportunity. Okay, maybe not. You know what? No, you are. You're going to get a chance on that second line. I was going to bump up Hutsko, but because of the player types, we're going for it. You get to play next to Trocheck and Borgstrom. Congratulations, Cliff. Make it happen in what is probably like your only chance in the NHL right now. But I want to give you a decent opportunity. And we'll just... Oh, boy, I don't want to go best lines here. Let's just put in Kovalchuk, right? Yeah. Ilya. There you go. Of course, this power play lines. Are you kidding? Screw it, best lines, whatever. We'll fix it again later. I don't care. We did beat Philadelphia. We play Minnesota coming up March 23rd. And we lose in overtime, but a pity point is very helpful. Dostal is back. So we are on 100 points through 76 games. We have clinched a playoff spot yet again. The streak continues, and we are very, very close to clinching the Atlantic Division title. Philly still a decent bit of a ways away here. We play Ottawa, and we lose. That pretty much confirms that the Flyers are going to win the President's Trophy. As Freddie Hedin's back, we'll just go best lines in the AHL and fix that in a bit. As we'll play the Rangers to wrap up the month. The Sabres right now, 7 points back, but we have a game at hand. So a win here, I think, would pretty much do it. The Rangers are on a terrible run of form, and we are the Slump Busters. Down to 6-3-1 lately. Owen Tippett is back. How did Cliff Poo do, is my question. Well, 1 goal in 3 games. But, he finally has an NHL goal. So, I'll take it. I'll take it. Let's go best lines. And put Borgstrom up here. Put you over here. And you over here. Perfect. And that'll fix the goalie situation as well. We'll fix all of that later. Heponiemi, of course, still out due to injury. So we haven't clinched. We have a game at hand, though. 5 points clear. The Flyers are the top team in the East. They're the top team in the NHL. So maybe that curse is done. We play Detroit, and we win 6-3. That clinches us yet another Atlantic Division title. 102 points through 79 games. Very, very good. That is, again, what we're capable of. We play Buffalo, which, could screw them over, thankfully, in their race against Ottawa. We do beat them, but we end up playing the Sens coming up. We have a game against Montreal. They are fighting for their postseason lives. It's looking like they're going to make it, but they really can't afford to slip up. Can we beat the Habs on the road? Yes, we can. Screw you, Montreal. They're still looking good, though. Win number 49. If we beat the Senators and cost them home ice advantage against the Sabres, we will hit 50 wins. So, potentially costing them home ice. Let's find out. Can we end the season on a win? We cannot. But ultimately, it is another very successful season in Sunrise. Very successful indeed. 49, 25, and 8. Again, atop the Atlantic. Ottawa will play Buffalo. The Tampa Bay Lightning just jumped Montreal, as Toronto, Boston, and in particular Detroit missed out. In the Metro, of course, it's Philly. They will be playing the Tampa Bay Lightning. Pittsburgh plays Washington, and the New Jersey Devils also made the playoffs. The Hurricanes sucked. In the Central, you have Dallas, who are the top team in the West, Chicago, Colorado, and Winnipeg on tiebreaker. The Nashville Predators sucked. And in the Pacific, it's Vancouver, Arizona, Vegas, and Los Angeles. The Sharks sucked. That's the only way to put it. So we were the third best team in the NHL. We had Vancouver beat on ROW. Not too shabby at all. Goals 4 per game, straight threes, which was top 5 in the NHL behind Buffalo and Ottawa, Washington as well in the East. Goals against a 2.48, which was the third lowest number in the league behind Vancouver and Philadelphia. San Jose was terrible. Our power play, second best in the league, one of 2 teams to hit 30% or more. Our penalty kill at 81.3% was mid-table, but much closer to the top. So, might be worth, slightly adjusting the penalty kill heading into the postseason if we can. In terms of the player stats, Jonathan Huberdeau led the way on this team, 91 points in 82 games. Spectacular from him. Very happy with his regular season production over the past 2 years. Hopefully again in the playoffs, he doesn't disappear after the first round. That would be great. Of course, that's what plagued us last time. Got off to such a hot start and then just disappeared. Sasha Barkov over a point a game, 34 goals. Happy with that. Owen Tippett, just 27 goals this year, but 73 points in 79 games is still really good for him. Disappointing season, though, after what he did last year. Denisenko, 68 points, 38 goals. Tremendous. Heponiemi, 52 points in 74 games. Pretty happy with that as well. Borgstrom, 48 points is perhaps a little bit disappointing to see him below 50. It is. Very happy with Denisenko. Okay with Heponiemi. Kind of disappointed in Borgstrom. So, especially too, this is a contract year for him. We'll see what the future brings. Trocheck finished with 40 points, which normally for a third liner I'm very happy with. So, I don't know. I guess I can be happy with it now. Logan Hutsko, 38 points. Happy with that as well. We know he's capable of more, though. 19 goals. Sarah Noel, 23 points on the fourth line. Very good with that. 21 points in 65 games for Dryden Hunt. So you can potentially make the argument his point pace was 26. So a pretty disappointing year for Dryden Hunt. Again, I think he has to step up in the playoffs, or there's a chance he's going to be on the outside looking in. Cole Schwint, his first full season, happy with that. Noel Acciari, very happy with that. Howard Luck, 12 points in 46 games. And again, you talk about point pace. He was on a 21-point pace, which for a fourth liner is exactly what we're looking for. So Howard Luck redeemed himself from a slow start and struggles defensively. Right now, it's Dryden Hunt. It's Dryden Hunt that I'm concerned about. And I mean, I think it'll be Howard Luck who ends up taking a seat. But if Hunt can't get the job done, Howard Luck will get the opportunity. Defensively, Ekblad and Sergachev not nearly as dominant as they were last year, but still a very respectable season for our top pairing. I mean, yeah, it would have been pretty tough. Like, that is an insane drop-off for Sergachev. I don't know how to explain that. Morrow was 17 points, good with it, barely took any penalties after we made that change. Really, all of, the second and third pair were fine. They were all fine. I'm very happy with those numbers. We'll see what kind of player development there was, if any, but I'm happy with those numbers. And then goaltending-wise, Spencer Knight was fine. Justice is 3-0, but the save percentage is not great. Dostal is okay as a backup. I mean, obviously this year we go with Spencer Knight no matter what. Bobrovsky's not here for the memes. Anderson's not here for the memes. He's 23. It's his net. Pretty much his net no matter what. Unless there's a situation where Dostal comes in relief and just destroys and shuts everything down, it's, we go with Spencer Knight. I mean, at this point, there might be some changes. Potentially some changes when it comes to, shifting the lines around. But the personnel, for the most part, I imagine will be staying the same. I've said that before. Sidney Crosby, you animal. I've been saying that, I've said that before and then ended up, getting so frustrated that certain top guys were underperforming and we ended up scratching them. But I don't think that's going to happen this time. Obviously, it happened last year. And, whether or not that did or did not cost us, it's tough to say. I mean, there are some people where it's like, nope, yep, you screwed up by doing that. And there are other people where it's like, well, hey, people weren't getting it done anyway. And making your team worse seems to be a good thing sometimes. So, always tough to tell. Spencer and I had a good season, but Carter Hart is absolutely going to win the Vezina. Good season for Kemper, but yeah, Carter Hart's going to win the Vezina. And then for rookies, it is Ludwig Persson for the Carolina Hurricanes, who is going to win the Calder. So again, a very good season for us. Very happy with what we've seen thus far. But as we said at the beginning of the year, it comes down to the playoffs. Very much comes down to the playoffs. I think the lineup that we have right now is what we go with until Heponiemi comes back. Then we'll see what happens from there. Again, he's due back on the 14th, so there's a good chance he's going to miss the first 2 games of this series, maybe even 3. I think for the most part, though, again, we're set up with what we have here. I don't hate this team. Obviously, I mean, we kept them together for a reason. But when you look at the contract situation, again, big off-season ahead. Tippett, Denisenko, Ekblad, Borgstrom, Heponiemi, and Hutsko are all up. Spencer Knight as well. This is the last run with the Panthers for some of these players. That's just a fact. Who stays and who goes. Regular season success is certainly going to play a factor. Postseason history is certainly going to be a factor as well. But the biggest factor here, no doubt, is what happens. What happens in this postseason run? We take on the New Jersey Devils in the first round. 45 wins for them. A respectable team, obviously not the easiest matchup in the world. We'll see if we can make it past them in that next episode. I thank you guys very much for watching. Greatly appreciated. As always, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you have not already done so. Helps out the channel tremendously and will help me avoid having to answer the question of why do you not have more subs, which people have been saying that to me for 3 years. So I'm starting to think I'm the problem. I thank you guys very much for watching. Of course, check out everything in the description. Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, Discord, the whole shebang. And of course, a shout out in particular to my patrons over on Patreon. I love ya. If you haven't checked it out, there should be Patreon exclusive episode up there for Tier 3 subscribers. So, yeah, check that out if you haven't. I will see you guys next time. Until then, have a good one. Take it easy, and bye-bye.